The simple ones, making sure you enter your email address correctly. I've spent weeks trying to get hold of candidates whose email is not correct when they submit their application, and their mobile number it's either not there or it's also wrong. So yeah, please double check, make sure that a core contact information is accurate. The other thing I think is maybe holding back in giving the recruiter, whoever is reviewing your application, whether it's right at the beginning, if people are still reading your resume, if it's your video interview questions, or it's at the final interview, is holding back giving those interviewers some sense of who you are and what makes you tick, what you're really passionate about. So going into an interview, be excited about it. Talk to the things that really make you tick, that get you excited, whether that's all work-related things. That's great. If there's something else that you particularly like doing, like hobbies or things on the side, then yeah, don't be afraid to mention that. The recruiters that are interviewing you are hiring you as a person. They're not hiring something or someone for the work or the job that they're looking to fill. They're actually looking for people. They're going to come and join teams and be a part of teams and part of your business. So don't hold back on that. If you're too let's say closed up around letting people get to know who you are, you may lose that opportunity in that recruiter identifying that you are exactly who they're looking for, because you don't know exactly. Nobody knows, right? That the exact kind of fit that you're looking for is something different than you're looking for. So you've got to give that recruiter a chance to know who you are.
So in terms of what I would have done differently at uni, I guess something I would do differently if I was still at uni is get more involved in the student associations. So the CISA at the University of Melbourne, I kind of got involved with them, but I've met people who had a lot more involvement, had a really great time, and they learned a lot from it. So that's probably something I'd do differently at uni, is get more involved in the student associations around the area that I was studying in. And in terms of my early career stage, I'm still there, so I'll let you know.
Probably echo that too. I only graduated about 18 months ago, so student society sort of stuff, the events, taking on as much learning possibilities as possible as well, I think. Definitely be something I'd do again.
It's a great chance to meet people as well in similar fields. Like the people I went to uni with, they're now working for different companies, but I still catch up with them. It's really interesting to hear the different things that people are doing, the different opportunities that are out there as well. You learn about new technologies just by the people you know.
Yep. And doing your research for your early career stuff, I think that's quite important, which you're all doing now, which is good. But making sure you're learning all the different employers out there, because one of the big things I learned when I first moved out of university, there were so many more employers out there that I'd never heard of doing really exciting work that I never would have thought possible. So just do your research, look what's out there, because it might be the right fit for you.
Well, we're not doing any coding assessments as part of the recruitment process. What I think would be valuable, if you have got some experience, is that you talk to that when you get into your interview. So yeah, we're not looking for people that are absolute guns, Java or numerous languages, Python, etc. If you've done stuff, then by all means mention that you've got exposure, you're familiar. At least from my understanding, once you've learned a few languages, you've typically developed some of the skills to learn other new languages relatively quickly. So it's more around that learning piece, that willingness to learn new tech when that comes about. So yeah, don't be concerned about having truckloads of coding experience. That's not critical in terms of coming into our grad roles. So this is where we're at Leidos. We're doing a bit of a testing the water scenario. I'm absolutely open to us receiving applications and interest from as wide as possible basic candidates. So not necessarily prioritizing people who have degrees. So if you've done any of the quals that come from TAFEs, you've done online self-study programs, you've been to a boot camp or an academy, all of those are actually super relevant. And because, as I touched on before, the focus on us and our hiring is much more around your fit and to values and alignment to what our purpose is and what Leidos is trying to do in keeping Australia safe. If you have studied wherever that is, so long as you can demonstrate your approach to problem solving and you're carrying in the right attitude around your willingness to learn, you're going to be super interesting to us. So yeah, sorry, that was a long answer to say no, you don't have to have a degree. A degree is useful, and don't everybody go and drop out from uni. That's still if you're nearly there, I'd encourage you to keep plodding through. But yeah, I think generally speaking, if we look at the tech industry, and I'm pretty familiar with what's going on now in Melbourne, there's a fairly healthy appetite to look at candidates coming in from other avenues, and not necessarily only university these days. So here's a quick one. If you've got you're currently studying, but you've got an interest area that maybe wasn't touched on in enough depth in your university program, go on to Coursera, Udemy. There's like 30 other like big online study resources. Just go and study those things. If you finish them, you don't necessarily have to have the certificate to prove it. Put that on your resume. Why not? It's completely valid. So long as you can back yourself when somebody in the interview asks you about it, that's great.